Hey guys, Mike Wood here from Wild Utah Edibles. I found some things here in the, shall we say, the dead of winter in December here, and I wanted to show you what I'm seeing on the ground and see if we can make something from it and what we can do with it. So stay tuned. Well, thanks for sticking around, everybody. I'm out here in one of my favorite little haunts, actually in the neighborhood, in a vacant lot with lots and lots of sagebrush. And look at the ground there. There's something growing. So what is it that's growing in the middle of December? Well, early December. And what can we do with it? So we're due for snow tomorrow, possibly tonight. But right now, the ground is not frozen. It's in the high 30s currently. And here we have, all over the ground, this little plant growing. And this is Redstem Filaree. So this is very common here in Utah, especially out on the desert. And it is something that will grow through the winter and grow under the snow. Now, oftentimes when you find this growing in the cold, it'll look more like that. You'll see a lot more of the red coloring on the leaves. But that Redstem Filaree is edible. The entire plant is edible for you. So what I'd like to do is let's go online and look it up and see what information we can find about Redstem Filaree. Okay, so we come out here to DuckDuckGo because why not? And of course, some of the first things we see are images. So if we're not positive on what we're identifying, then let's search some images to verify. I am, so I'm not going to worry about that. And then, of course, you'll often have a Wikipedia page come up. And this is interesting because here we have the scientific name. So we've got Erodium cicutarium. And so let's click on that and see if this is the same plant. So Erodium cicutarium, also known as Redstem Filaree, Redstem storksbill, common storksbill, or pinweed. So those all sound correct to what to the plant that I'm talking about here. And there we can see a drawing that indicates the plant aspects. And yep, sure enough, this is the plant. Now it's interesting, in the drawing here you can see we have the leaves, we've got the stems, we've got the flowers, and we've got the seed pods, which during the summer you will see all of those things at once on one plant sometimes. But here during the winter we don't have that. We can look at distribution and ecology, description. Oh, look at this, uses. And that's what we want here. Young leaves are edible, raw, or cooked. The whole plant is reportedly edible with a flavor similar to sharp parsley if picked young. So if you need some parsley for a recipe, then we can go out and get some of that, right? That's actually good to know. I hadn't thought about that, but my wife often cooks with parsley in the recipes she does. So that's one I'll remember. If we don't have parsley, I can just run up the street or outside if I have it growing and pick it even in the dead of winter. According to John Lovell's Honey Plants of North America, the pink flowers are a valuable source of honey nectar and also furnish much pollen. Among the Zuni people, a poultice of chewed root is applied to sores and rashes, and an infusion of the root is taken for stomach ache. So now one of the things that I'm seeing here is that this product, this what's the erodium, cicutarium, is medicinal as well as nutritional. So that's kind of cool to see that. I don't often see the nutrition facts and data on all of these plants, so it's kind of cool to see that listed here. You're not going to get a whole lot of fat from this. You might get a little bit of energy. Got some carbohydrates, sugars, dietary fiber, vitamins, a little bit of, a bit more of A, and not a whole lot of vitamin C. So just kind of cool, the stuff that you can find out about the plant here. All right, well, let's back up, see what else we have out there. Redstem Filaree USU extension. Let's click on that one. Utah State University. There we are again, verifying the plant. They've got some great photos here. And winter annual or biennial that germinates in most soil and temperatures between 40 to 70 degrees, spring to fall, and grows all through the winter. It's interesting here, they say seedlings that germinate late in the year remain dormant as a rosette during winter months. Okay, so rosette is a small plant, and that is what we're seeing out here in the desert in the winter. Growth resumes in the early spring. Plants flower from mid-spring to mid-summer. And then they give recommendations because they're looking at this as a weed. Hand pull plants in lawn areas prior to flowering. Mowing is not an effective method for control. All right, so there's some good info on it there. We've got the Department of Agriculture, which is probably going to talk about this as a weed. Plant Science, Weed RIC there, PDF about it. So we got all kinds of stuff there. Now, the next thing we can do with this search is we can go up here and we can type in specifically uses and run a search for that. And look at the detail that we have coming up that talks about the using this, the uses of this item. Let's go to that one there. The natureniche.com sounds like a good one for actual information on using the plant rather than killing it. If we can get it to load. There we go. Another very early spring wildflower or weed, depending on your point of view. This member of the geranium family was introduced from Europe, so this is a European introduced flower or plant. And it's interesting when you see that. Why was it introduced from Europe? Now, it might be that some of the seeds came across accidentally, but in a lot of cases, this was food for them. They saw it as food and they used it, and so that's how it came over. Fruit is usually long and needle-like, giving rise to the other common names, stork's bill, pinggrass. Considered a mild herb, was used in Mexico to control hemorrhage and infection following childbirth. In Chinese medicine, it is used to treat kidney and urinary tract diseases. See, so there's some real value to this plant here. It should not be just ignored as a weed. So I think that that's the case with a lot of the wild edibles that I share. So lots of information can be found as you research each of these. That's as far as I'm going to take you today for the Redstem Filaree, and let you continue to do some of that research. And this might be one that you want to put in your medicine cabinet or in your food, or perhaps both. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like the channel, and share it with your friends and anybody that you might think would be interested in this. If you haven't signed up for my newsletter to know when I do local tours in Utah, get over to wildutahedibles.com and sign up there on the sign up page so that you'll be notified. Have a great day.